Hey everyone. Well, you know my friend Darrell. I've done a number of videos with him. He's on his way over with his mom, and he is going to be demonstrating the best way to stack firewood. Now, he claims this is the best way and you don't need a rack. So I can't wait to get started. Stay tuned. How do you like it up there? Huh? Hi, Patch. We're gonna have some fun today. Yeah. So here he is, and here's his mom over here. She's going to be supervising. Say hi, Joe.
Hi.
So here we go. Darrell is going to explain why this is the best way to stack firewood.
Well, I'm going to show a way to stack firewood so you don't need any contraptions of any kind. You just use the wood itself. When I was young and first started using wood heat and all, I lived in the woods, so I would stack my firewood between some trees. Did not make this up myself. When I was a young man, first learning to heat with wood, I made lots of mistakes. So, not keeping the wood dry like you should, lots of different things. And I lived in the woods, and I would usually pick two trees and stack the wood in between so the pile would stay up, I thought. But when you do that, when winds come, it shifts the trees, and somewhere right in the middle of the winter on the coldest day, right after the ice storm, you go out and you see that your wood pile has fallen down and is coated with ice. So that's not a good way. Often you'll see people, they'll drive metal stakes, fence posts or something into the ground and stack between that. That's better, but unnecessary. What I'm going to show you here will work anywhere that the ground's fairly level. It doesn't have to be perfect. If you were going to do it right on the soil or on the grass in your yard, the first thing you want to do, let me grab a piece of firewood here. Grab a few pieces. Okay, that's my quality control group there.
Yeah, you can see how much attention they're paying to you. Okay, go.
All right, so here's an example now. Let's say here's your firewood you want to stack. It's not the greatest idea to just start laying it right on the ground. Although I have done that in the past. You just sort of are going to sacrifice the lower layer because it's always going to stay wet and it'll start to rot. But, it lasts for a while. But what I like to do is make two parallel, like maybe you could use bricks or something like that. Or what I always use, you could use 2x4s or 4x4s laid on the ground just so that you have a place, for each end to rest. So you'd set up something, you could even use firewood itself, but then again, you're sacrificing it. And what you're trying to do is you're going to build your wood pile so it's up off the ground a little. And it doesn't keep that moisture wicking up, and it gets a little airflow underneath. So that way your entire pile will stay dry. So if you're doing it on the ground, you want to make two parallel pieces of wood or, bricks or anything you got laying around the house that would just hold it off the ground a little.
But it's got to run the length of it, right?
Yes.
And be the same level. Okay, I have 4x4 cedar over there.
Yeah, so if we were doing it on the ground, you could do that. Now today, Kaye is going to we're going to stack her wood on this deck. And so what I just talked about is you don't need to bother with it. This is off the ground. This will dry out after a rain.
Okay.
So we can just stack the wood right here on a very nice, level, smooth surface. That's as easy as it gets.
Okay, good.
But if you have, one more thing about it on the grass and all. Let's say you were stacking it over here where there's a little bit of a slope. Well, what I would do is when I make the two rails, let's call them, I'd just make the lower one a lot bigger around something, so that it kind of levels out. And so you can still build on a slope, but you want your pile starting off level. You're going to keep it a plumb, straight up and down pile.
Right, because we stacked this over here, it wasn't level, and it fell over.
Yep, that's what happens. I mean, that's our goal, is to make something that's going to stay standing all winter. You're not out here messing with it in the middle of the winter and getting wet wood out of it possibly too. So we're going to do something that's very permanent until you need to use it.
Okay, great. And dimensions.
Okay. When we're finished, I like to cover these piles. I keep them almost level with just a slight slope, and I put a piece of metal roofing on top, galvanized roofing, something like that. And so when you start, you need to know what length of roofing you're going to be working with. In this case, Kaye's going to get a 10-foot piece. So we will build the pile of wood 9 feet. And that way there's a 6-inch overhang on each end to just help keep the rain off a little more from the pile.
Okay, great.
All right, Kaye has chosen to make piles long enough to be covered with a 10-foot piece of roofing. So we want to go a little less than that so there's some overhang on each end. My feet happen to be 1 foot long. So we're going to start right here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9. I lost count. I can't even count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, that is where the 10's going to come to. And so I'm going to move in about 6 inches. We're going to set that piece. That's going to be the end.
Okay.
And I'm going to set this piece 6 inches back here. And this will be the end of that.
Okay.
And let's see, we'll make it 1 foot, one of my feet in from the edge. How's that?
That's good.
So we'll get that set. So this is how you're going to start, by laying out where this thing's going to be. I'm going to explain the principle of this, because we're not going to have enough wood to do it the best way you possibly can.
Why?
That happens to be the right shape, I mean.
Oh.
You know, like ultimately, if you had a pile of 2x4s or 2x6s, nice planed off lumber, all squared and all, that's the best option you could have to build what I'm going to call, we're going to build a tower on each end.
Okay.
And then the rest of the wood will get stacked in between. But these towers, there's a specific way to build them, or at least a way you need to think as you're building them. So let me show you these piled right here. Now these aren't squared off 2x4s or anything, but they are kind of squared off. The object is, it's usually 3 pieces, maybe sometimes 4, because you want this to be about equal to the length of the next pile that's going to go this way. So, all right, so this would make a nice base because you have basically a flat surface that's on the bottom, and there's more friction.
Even though this is higher?
Yeah, well, yes, and I'll talk about that in a second. But you know, the idea is you want a lot of surface area touching to create friction, so these things don't move around.
Okay.
And the next layer is going to run this direction, and then the next layer that direction, and it's all the same principle. You know, so if you're using a bunch of round logs, you can see how even those are moving a little. If you had round logs, I mean, this thing would just kind of roll out. Right. So, but we don't have perfect firewood all cut to the right, you know, perfection that we want.
Okay.
But we can still do it. I'll show you, you can even use some round ones. The basic thing to remember here is when you do
the bottom needs to be
each layer, you want to make sure that your 2 end ones are as high as or a little higher than the middle ones. Now here, that's working pretty good. Let's say I had done that. Now, notice this one's the high one, and you're going to get something like this going on.
Not good.
Can't have that. This you'd have to switch like that. Now it's solid because these 2 are, you know, higher. And that's good enough. You know, you're not going to get perfect.
Okay.
All right, and then so now let's say we don't have nice shaped pieces like that. There's one that's sort of wedge shaped, but I'm going to use it. And it's also kind of, it's not very deep. That one looks, it's about the same height. Now you can use anything in the middle, even round stuff.
Okay. If
it's held by some good friction pieces on the edge. And just whatever fits and fills that space without causing a problem. Now that's hanging out too much. I don't like that. I might even do something like that and just bring those 3 in there. But I think this is higher. See, you're getting a little bit of that. You can't have that. And you can't use the round ones, or you shouldn't use the round ones on the edge. That one has a nice little knot there. It keeps it from rolling. You maybe could use that one. And so that's the whole principle, is you're going to build...
What about that one turned sideways? Skinny. Like that.
This one?
No, in there.
Oh.
In here. No, that one.
Oh, that one. Yeah, I could.
Move it back.
That would work.
Oh.
And
I was talking about trying to get 4 on there, but...
Oh, no, that doesn't matter that much.
Okay.
That feels nice and solid, except I don't like the way that's rolling. Okay. So you get the idea. And so what we'll do now is I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to start building a tower, and I'll bring it up about this high. until I'm sure Kaye has totally gotten the principle down. And then we're going to set Kaye up over here, and she's going to build her tower as I build mine.
Okay.
And we'll bring it up about 2 or 3 feet, and we'll start putting some wood in between. Then we'll build it up some more until we get up probably, you know, shoulder high or something.
Okay, great.
All right, there's 2 more things I wanted to tell you about. And this is when I first discovered this sitting in someone's yard, and I came to a screeching halt to study how they possibly did that. They had used a lot of half logs, the logs that you got a half piece. So it's rounded and flat on the bottom. And they did it like this. They would put a round one flat, a round one upside down, and another round one flat. Then they'd do that same kind of thing. Sometimes the upside down one would be on the outside, but usually they put that in the middle. And you can build a tower that way with half logs, and it's pretty stable. Okay, but you may have a whole bunch of stuff like this.
Quarter logs.
Quarter logs. Well, you can do it with them too, as long as you want, but just remember, you want friction. You want something flat on the bottom, and all these tops need to be about the same height with nothing high in the middle. So,
Okay.
so you can do it with any shape if you remember the principle. You're working on trying to get as much friction as you can. And we'll get started here. No, you're fine. Now there's another thing I do. I check the log. You know, if it's real wobbly, I try to reposition it, see if there's a better place for it. There, that's man. Sometimes I'm just not happy with it, and I might not use it. This one seems to be one of those. All right, that's good. That's too high. That's too round. So it's a little bit like putting a puzzle together. You got to get the right piece, you know. Yep. No, wait. No. With practice, you'll go faster. always strive for level. I mean, you're going to have some logs that are bigger at one end than the other. Well, then make the next one the opposite so it kind of levels out. Just try to keep things moving.
So, what happened is we were working like crazy, 16-minute clip, and the camera died. But we got this. I finished this tower, and then we got all this. He had a lot of this filled in, and we filled it in together, and we got it all finished. So this is the first one, and Darrell's going to explain how the tin is going to go on the top.
Yeah, the last thing you want to make your pile.
You have to talk to them.
All right, we make this
No, you got to look that way.
See back there? Do you see how it slopes down now? You want a little bit of a slope to run the rain off the tin. It's not that big a deal, and it doesn't have to be that steep. Yeah. And so just get it so you have a nice flat surface for the tin to lay on. Then I use maybe 3 or 4 pretty heavy rocks, or you could use bricks or something like that, and just weight the tin down so the wind won't blow it off. And you're done. And this will keep your wood dry all winter. And then one last thing, when it comes time to start using the wood, don't mess with the towers right away. Take your wood out of here until you're down maybe a couple feet. Then you can lower the towers to that height, and now your tin's down, your roofing is going to be down lower. So you don't want to just take everything out with the towers up, because the rain will come in under the tin and get your wood all wet. So right. You want to keep the roofing down on the wood.
Work it down together.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can get roofing material that's about 2 by 8 feet or 2 by 10 feet. I think it comes in 2 different things. So I went down to try to get some today, and they didn't have any. So I have to go to a different place. But I'm going to get the tin. I'm going to build another one of these things myself, and we'll see how that goes. But thanks so much for watching this video. And, you know, it's always great to have Darrell as our guest. And in fact, Darrell has written a story. Well, he wrote it a long time ago, and he's going to be narrating this story, and I'm going to make a video of that. So we're going to be doing that next. So that's what you have to look forward to. So thanks so much for watching. Please give the video a like and a share and subscribe, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video. Oh, and I forgot to mention that his mother was coaching me the whole time. Every time I would lay one down, she'd go, no, okay, no. Okay, that'll work. Oh, good.
We missed that part.
Yeah, I'm so sorry you missed that part. She was doing such a great job. Well, some of it may be on there. Tell everybody what you were saying to me. You were saying, no.
Put the wrong piece on there. That will fit there. You have to move that one.
And then once in a while I would get a really good one, and you'd say,
that's really good.
What are you doing, Darrell?
I'm picking out some certain shaped pieces so I can show in the beginning. I'm going to do like a little example, because I'm going to start out. You already filming? Jeez. Yeah, tell me when I'm on camera.